Hi, I'm Nuclear, and this is going to be Nuke Empire number 1 in the mode of 24.2. First of all, we're going to be setting up a few things. I'm going to be trying to build a base on Minimus. Self-sustaining, let's say that. I have a couple mods. Let's go in here real quick. Mods that I have, of course, there's a MechJeb piece, so yes, I have MechJeb. This is part of another mod that I have, the Kerbal colonizer system. That's what we're going to use on the moon or on Minimus. But the one thing is, it also requires another one, which is the life support, which I've got parts from it right there. I also got KAS Kerbal assembly system. It is not rated for 24.2. It is rated for 23.5. But the only piece that I use, for me at least, does work, and that's this piece here. I use this to attach wheels onto the bottom of my base pieces. I've tested it a little bit. I've designed one. I'm not going to be using it, but you know. And what's the biggest weight of all? When you're carrying one of these guys, or even these guys. Ooh, let's put a MechJeb real quick. That way you can see what's going on with the weight. 5.3. Take the food out. Water. Well, some of them it's actually got some weight. So, but I prefer keeping these empty so that when I launch, no problem. Oop. So, what do you do? Well, the logistics hub is what you do. The first thing I'll land on Minimus. It's the logistics hub. Nothing else, just because it's so large you can't move it around. So it's best just to leave it as its own. So right now we're going to be trying to build a station around Kerbin. And trying to think what I'm going to do first. Well, let's go on and give it one of these guys, and I'll you know what? I wonder, can I? Yes, I can. Now there's a hub. But that thing's probably got a lot of weight. So, and you can't really attach directly. It always goes wonky with when you scale stuff up. Oh, what am I thinking? I'm trying to find the dang senior. Huh. It'll only allow it to go to one. Oh well. I'll just do it to each one individually. Oops. And that was the wrong way. Oh well. And wrong one yet again. There we go. And of course the piece de resistance, the top. That will of course be my control for this entire thing. Now, you're going to be wondering why, if I'm building the hub, or should I say, my logistics hub piece, why did I just add that? That is due to the fact of the actual size of the hub. It is absolutely massive. So, that's why I did that. Now, another one I would want to do, I don't want... You know, I've never sized one of these up. And you can't! Oh well. I'll just do that. That's kind of hilarious. Alright. Now, I'm gonna need... That's a lot of mass. Oy, oy, oy. And put these two there. We're going to... 0. Extend, make sure it's both good. No crew on board, so this is an unmanned, no worries. Nothing really here except for the logistics hub. We're going to put a stage in. I always prefer this one actually staging on its own, just due to the fact that it's a really smooth stage. I'm gonna need a lot of power. Oop. Think that's enough? Well, unfortunately, if you thought it was, it ain't to me. And yes, you can upsize these. Oop. Doesn't look right, but you know. Of course, thrust to weight ratio royally bites the bucket right now. But now, it's pretty good. Actually, I'm wanting to try that. Went to the bottom. Curve. I thought I hit the... That's good. Let's try that out. And even us pros make mistakes, so don't worry. I don't plan on making mistakes, but you know, never know. A lot of power going out. Oh well. Plenty of power coming in now. And of course, as you increase your size, your thrust goes up. This had 2,500, I think. These guys are massive. I've even had a solid rocket booster that had like, what was that? 100,000 units of solid rocket fuel. It was pretty big too. Almost unusable. Probably put a cut in here. That way, this don't get too long for you. And we'll see you on the other side where I'll be having this thing in orbit and prepping to launch number 2. Alright, I'm back. Little things that I had discovered. The oversized bottom generated, when it ejected. For some reason my mech jeb and nothing wanted to turn. Another thing is my camera just kind of kept going back and back. Like its viewpoint one right here. It just kept going back and back and back and back. Well, I got rid of that oversized and went to normal size, put on four large boosters, standard sized, and when the large liquid fuel section dropped off, it started doing the same thing. So I went back and downsized that back to normal. It's working fine now. Can someone please make a mod out there of one of these that is, what was the next size up? 3 point, no, that's these guys. These are 3.7. No, the next size up is 5 meter. Then you've got these 3.75. I think that's a 2 meter. 1.25 meter. That's right. You can make one of these in a 2.5 meter. And then even a 3.75 and upgrade the senior to a mega or a super. That's a 3.5. That would be great. Or 3.75, sorry. Already got this set up. Fuel's looking good. My power, this vehicle does not have that much power capability. So it's going to be a problem if any burn is not in the sunshine. Sunshine. Of course, this one is. I'm only circularizing at half the height that I want, just because it's going to be a little bit easier. Make sure I get into orbit. If I need more height, get the height after. No RCS, so this is a big lumbering giant turning. Next one, of course, has the dock, so it will have RCS. Next one's actually going to be a fuel tank. So, yeah, docking the fuel tank's gonna be fun. Because there's three ways I can think of doing it. Pusher like this. Puller, which I like to use when I'm landing objects that have to sit on their own feet. And then get rid of the engine. Like base parts, of course. If it's just a manned lander, who cares about, an engine being on the bottom, because it's got to be taken back off. So I'll use pushers for that. And the second is side attachment. Side attachment kind of got two different ones. When I'm landing some small, like a single seat lander that's supposed to dock to a large vessel, I'll use this side attached. And then when I get the apoapsis. When I get the correct, or when I land, it uses those, and my docking port can stay behind it. So change apoapsis to and do it at the current apoapsis. Actually, you know what? Put an extra 10. Create and execute. And then, you know, I can dock, I can land, I can take back off, no problem. And those are the solids. The ones that can detach is the other one. Thinking of using the pusher though. The pusher, I could detach absolutely everything out of it. Have it all back here, kind of like this one is. But maybe have some attached additional engines up near the top so that it helps push it. And to get rid of the RCS, I'll have the RCS on those. Currently, that's what I'm thinking. It's about to go to time warp. And of course, power's probably out right now. Yep, they're in power. But back in the sunshine, back in power. Of course, this is going to be the hub. Probably right here is going to be the fuel tank. Oof. That was fast. This one of these two will be a power, oxygen, you know, food. One will be oxygen, food, and water. The other one will be power, and we'll have a little bit of generating capability. Maybe. Power, I'm gonna probably just keep it as, you know, batteries and such. Alright, now let's change my... Oh yeah, I love the new layout and got confused as heck when I saw the new layout of MechJeb. 1 million mile! Man, it's actually kind of going towards there. And, oh, that was Quill, uploading another video. What the heck did he upload this time? Probably... Europe, Universal? Universal, something like that? I don't know. Something I don't play. Don't have much thrust left, but you know what? More than enough. Two of these will be docking ports for manned missions. The reason why I'm actually putting a fuel tank on, or manned or supply missions, I should say. The reason I want to put a fuel tank is this thing, when it transfers, uses either fuel or carbonite or something like that. Yeah, and I want to make sure that I get the correct, have some fuel up here so that I can transfer. And I can even transfer the fuel using these guys. Come on, buddy. Thank you. Alright, now that you're done, Smart SAS, Prograde, Force Roller Field Click, and I'll let that get settled in and we'll go start the next one. The fuel tank. Which is actually one I would love to oversize, but oh well. And because of it being so large, it's a slow, lumbering giant. But Itsuki. Space stations are actually easier to build because all you're doing is docking. Landing, though, and building a base on the ground, more difficult. The only thing is, when you try to land these things, large items, you gotta be careful with it, and then you've got to move them around, so you're gonna have to do roving. Alright, let's turn this off. Turn that on. And we're gonna go back to the Space Center. Now that we're in here, we're going to build us a new rocket. Go and use the large guidance. Actually, you know what? I don't even have to do it that way. I can do it that way. And this one will also have my solar panels for the entire station. Still going to do a docking clamp. And this is the start of the entire thing. So, let's see where it goes. 2 solar panels. Wow. Think I'm gonna be able to power the entire friggin' planet. Alright. One thing I always forget to do is this at times. So, we're gonna do it now. Make sure I don't forget. We are going to use a small tank of that. Oh, shoot. Just remembered what size that thing is. That would not have worked. Oop, and there goes my double clicking mouse again. Alright. going to need it. Oop. To face in. Oh, what the heck? Alright. Fine. We'll just do it the other way. Wait, I don't want to do it, but that is most of my weight. So that is where we're going to put the RCS jets. The RCS tank, though, will be down here. Maybe I should have put it in a different spot. Put 2 of them in there just to make sure. Going to strengthen up this joint with 8 struts. Because that thing has so much power, why does this thing need power? Other than to leave. And that should be enough to leave. Alright. Looks plenty good. Now it's time for... Oh yeah, that ought to do. The launch piece of it. Wow. It needs a lot of fuel. I want to get like 3,000. That way I know I can get out of the atmosphere. So I'm going to do drop tanks. Other than the fact that I don't have enough thrust. Okay then. Hey, but I've got enough fucking Delta V to get out. I might be able to give it a little bit of a boost. Yeah, that's good. Tie those together a little bit so that they're a little more rigid. And I'm just gonna call this the tank. Now, we're only gonna go up to 100. Auto stage to 1. Gauge that. Let's get this show on the road. This big tank will actually be fueling this engine probably first, so I don't have any worries about it. I will start slowing down here in a minute when I lose these drop tanks, because they're not really drop tanks anymore. I have done pretty extensive drop tank capabilities before. One of my number one was a double asparagus drop tank. Literally, the drop tanks on the inside was feeding the central engine, and there was another layer on the outside of drop tanks that was feeding the inner drop tanks. Ooh! They got into the flames! Vehicle's all good though. Other than the fact that this stopped counting. That's never good. Oh well. Seen that a few times. Usually not a problem. Usually. Still losing speed. Sucker's completely froze. Oh well. And starting to gain speed back already. That's good. Frame rate is really low right now. I guess too much going on. It's a big rocket, so I wouldn't doubt it. Watch my fuel. Power, not a problem. These guys are keeping me enough. And when these guys open up, there's not going to be much of a problem at all. Wish my Delta V status didn't freeze. I like watching that at times. It's not really going to generate much of a terminal velocity problem. So that's good and bad. It's probably just from the items being destroyed. I don't think MechJeb likes that. My grav turns about 15k, so I'm not even at 10 yet. Definitely don't want these guys, sticking up and down. So I'm gonna have to work on those and make sure that doing forced rolls to get the right angles. Leaving these open, although I doubt I'll use them. Only reason is if I turn the transfer station into an actual living station. So I don't think I'm gonna do that. Come on. And grav turn, not turning yet. Usually starts about 18,000 tries a turn. I'm at 17, but what the heck? There it goes. Still got some sunlight. Yeah, some visual problems there. No problem. $26,000. Getting close to losing this guy. Be 2.11, just shy of where I've got fuel right now, or thrust right now. Good staging. Yeah, that thing got froze up. Oh well. Of course, drain out here first. Had like what, 2 minutes of burn? Where the heck's your apoapsis, dude? It's getting there. Probably about to fine tune. Oh wow. Yep, perhaps it's actually in sunlight. Barely, but there we go. I'll extend some of these if I need to, but right now I'm not seeing it. Whew. That's a lot of thrust needed. As long as I don't run out of power, I'll be fine. Using a lot of power up just because I'm steering. Alright, let's get this party started. Full power. Problem is fuel. Burning quick. Well, I am orbital. Not very even, but you know. Still orbital. Matching planes. On the other side of the planet. And just to make sure I've got the power, I'm gonna extend the middle too. It's halfway around the planet, but it is in daylight. Which I'm no longer in. I'm in the dark. How about you? You in the dark? No, this is kind of norms for solar powered vehicles. Is if you're in the dark and doing something, you can run out of power, or let's say you are approaching your node using like something like GPS, yeah, like MechJeb. Well, it can't stop itself. Manned vehicles actually can run while no power. They cannot turn or anything. It's all by their engines, and they can throttle and everything like that. But they, if you got the life support set up like I do, you need to have power. Otherwise, your Kerbals can die. Almost to that one. Matching planes, yeah. And then I've got to do my phasing, but since I'm 1/10 of its altitude, it shouldn't have a problem. This stuff's easy. Going out here and doing the whole thing again, that's more complicated. Yep, back in the sunshine. Not much fuel left in that sucker either. Alright. Planning for the transfer over here. Maneuver in 7, almost 18 minutes. It's right there, so that's good. Oof, if that thing hits accurately, I'm going to love it. Because then I can dock. Yeah, I have not figured out what the heck this is. These I can understand, but yeah. And this one's kind of more imperative that you get the correct, or actually tell it which docking port, because there's 5 docking ports it can go to. Just gonna hit this guy real quick. That way I've got one less to worry about. I do want force roll to be 0. I don't know what the roll is right now that I need, so. You know, I just realized 6 solar panels can't do anything if it's facing like this. It's okay. We'll deal with that. Probably gonna just angle the entire thing up. Why did you slow down so much? Low altitude, I guess. Time warp can't go as fast. Oh, goody, what was that? Other than the ship going out of control. Yeah, it's not going to be as accurate as predicted. I mean, these nodes are estimating on absolute instant power. I mean, you have a node that's taken 500 delta V. It's wanting that all that power in one moment. Not even a second. I've only found one engine that does that. It's a modded engine, but it uses a different fuel, hydrogen or something like that. While you're throttled, you actually lose fuel, of course, But if you're not in the atmosphere, it will it'll have it'll actually refuel itself. In the atmosphere it does it, but it's not that quick as it would be if you're in space. The other thing is you have to be within 200 meters in order to lock on to a very specific docking port. I don't like going over like 4 or 5. Bigger the objects, slower I want it to go. I mean, small, little, fast, nimble guys, yeah, I'll do it at 10, 15 meters per second max. But these bigger, heavier guys, it's slower to accelerate, slower to slow down. So I'll want them to go slower. I just leave it at 1 normally. Now, the target item is right there. It's about to burn, so that's good. Whoa, don't do that. Bouncing all over the place now. Now, if I was to give the autopilot, auto docking, the go ahead, yeah, I'd probably go a lot faster than what I am. A lot faster than 1, I'd say that. I have used those new RCSs that go off liquid fuel. Very nice. I made the mistake, though, of using that on a small vehicle. And the small vehicle, well, it was too powerful. And it actually overpowered the entire thing. If I turned the RCS on right now, it'd probably burn up a lot, but I'm thinking about it. Let's just say you got it. Come on. Make that turn. Fine. Whoa. You're good. No, we're going... Why is it every time I'm doing that, it's... let's turn it on. Just leave it on, I guess. Just hope we don't run out of fuel, huh? Right now, I need you to stop going after that. Alright, engage that, disengage that, get rid of that. And we'll zoom way out. Enough that I can actually see it. Oh, it's on the other side. What are you doing? Burning up a lot of RCS. Which is a little unusual. Oh, by the way. I got a lot of RCS and we're doing pretty good time. So, I'm gonna go on and tell it to do 5. Just because it's so far away. Normally don't initiate a auto dock at this distance, but it's also a large vehicle that I'm bringing in. Normally it's like I'm approaching a station that's large with a small piece to make the station larger. This time I'm bringing very large piece to make a station much larger. Doing good. About, was it 300 fuel burned, getting half the distance gone. Just like 1/5 of my fuel for half the distance. That ain't bad. Another 100 and I can tell it exactly which docking port to dock at. So you're only using... Ooh. Come on. Ah! I hate it when it does that. Now, I'm gonna go down to 1. What are you doing? Ooh. Dang it. My mouse loves to double click. And I hate it for it. See? There we go. Much better. Kind of a tilt, but... That looks good. On the correct side, backing up. Moving towards the docking axis. And pretty much everything it's gonna dock, unless I run out of fuel, which I'm still doing good on fuel, so I doubt that. But you never know. I don't mind if that actually gets a little bit longer, which is about what it's doing. Just due to the fact that it's getting closer to the docking axis right now. Once it's in the docking axis, it'll of course move into dock. Mono propellant is going down kind of quick. Still kind of trying to push itself to speed. It's having a little bit of a trouble keeping its alignment though. It's probably about to start nailing the brakes. It's actually still hitting the gas, jeez. Yeah, docking on large items takes a long time due to the slow speed that you want to have them doing for safety. So, kind of thought I'd put that at 1 2. Yeah, see, it's still having stability problems. Probably could have used some back here. Oh, dude. You are blowing it. Yeah. Why are you having a problem with that order? You can burn up all your monopropellant then. Hey, I didn't tell you to deactivate. Why are you having such a problem? It's actually moving away. And now it's on the wrong side. Getting too low on monopropellant for you to be doing this. Still getting away. One good thing though is if I need to, I can put more on here. I've never seen it have such a problem. Well, one way or another, this thing will be docked next time that you come back. Until then, I'm Nuclear. See ya.